Okay, this is the setup that I'd like for you to try while I'm gone. The pieces of equipment that you're going to need, other than your rope, is going to be preferably your left ascender. If you find that you have trouble using the left ascender, then just go ahead and use your right ascender. You're going to need a non-locking beaner, which is the gold one, a pulley, 3 locking carabiners, and your Grigri. And naturally, you really need to use a pair of gloves when you do this exercise. Okay, now we will do the rope setup. Now, in setting up the rope, just for simplicity's sake, go ahead and tie a figure 8 knot, figure 8 on a bite, and your locking knot or your stopper knot. Okay, normally at the gym, as you know, we would thread that through the triangle of our harness, but just for simplicity's sake, at our wall, we're just going to clip the figure 8 to a locking beaner when we get ready to do all the attachments of the equipment. When you thread the rope up through our belay bar, make sure that the rope that goes to the locking beaner on your harness goes behind the red bar at the top of the belay bar. The other rope that comes out here will be used to attach a lot of the equipment. Okay? Okay, this is the setup with the equipment. The first thing we're going to do is take our first locking carabiner, and we're going to lock that to the belay loops on the harness. Once we've done that, then we're going to attach our rope to this. So pardon the video while I go away here for a second. So now we have the harness is attached to the beaner, which is attached to our inside section of the rope. And now we will lock our beaner. Beaner is locked. The second, we'll start pulling the slack out. Now, what you want to be aware of is that you want to keep these ropes a clear path. You don't want the ropes to cross over. Try to keep the ropes in a position to where they do not rub against each other. The next piece of equipment that we put on will be our ascender. We will just clip it on to the part of the rope that is not attached to your harness. See, this is the backside rope. Once you do that, put a non-locking beaner into the top, just like so. Now, some people will attach a pulley to this. I don't like that because the pulley eventually rubs against the equipment as the rope passes through it. The next thing that we will do is install our Grigri onto the rope, and then attach the Grigri with a second locking beaner to our harness. The rope that comes down from the ascender represents the climber part. So it will go just like so. Pardon me. Just like so. Goes up to there. Down. Then we will lock this into our second locking carabiner, which attaches to our belay loop. Now, once the Grigri has been properly installed into the locking beaner, which goes to our harness, you would then take the rope that comes out on the brake side of the Grigri, which is this part right here. This part goes up to the ascender, which represents the climber side. The brake side of the Grigri comes up, goes through this pulley, and comes back down. That part of the pulley there attaches to a locking biner, which goes to the bottom half of the ascender. So what you have, and I hope I can get this, is from the rope that comes from the underside of the belay bar, comes down all the way down through the figure 8 knot into the locking biner, which goes into the belay loop. Okay. The other part of the rope that comes over the top of the belay bar comes down through the ascender into the Grigri, out of the Grigri, up into the pulley, out of the pulley, which will go to your free hand. So now we will put this into play. Okay, here is the process. First, I take my ascender, put it on the line that I am not going to be hanging on, and I put the non-locking biner securing the rope at the top of the ascender. My figure 8 knot will go into a locking biner, which will go into my belay harness, and I'll lock the biner. Pull the slack out, raise the biner. Then I take my Grigri, the rope that comes from the ascender is the climbing rope. Then I attach my Grigri to my harness with a locking biner. And I lock the gate on the carabiner. The rope that comes up from the biner, or the brake side of the biner, now goes into a pulley, and with another locking biner, I secure that to the bottom of the ascender. And I pull down to take the slack out of the rope. At this point, I put my gloves on. I'm not going to use my gloves for clarity with my hands right now, but it's a good idea to use these. I push the carabiner up, pull the slack out of the rope. The main thing is that you want to be able to keep all of these ropes from rubbing against each other. So when you set up the ascender and the pulley and the Grigri, make sure that there is a clear path of operation. So as I start climbing, I will start pulling down on the pulley and pushing the ascender up. And as you can see, I'm hanging on the Grigri. Now, the trick is coordination. As I start moving up, I move the ascender and pull the slack out. Now, the question is, can I pull myself up without climbing? The answer is yes. I have a 2-to-1 mechanical advantage by doing this, as long as I keep the ascender above my head. Is this climbing? Yes. It's a form of climbing. Now, once I get to the top, all I do is pull a little rope back through the pulley, pulley off. Then I remove my ascender. And using the proper technique with the Grigri, I let myself back down. This is where you really need to have gloves on. And there you have it.